Newport Beach is the most expensive city in all of Orange County, and in this video we're going to talk about the pros and cons of living in Newport Beach. Now in this video we're going to break down what are the good things, what are the bad things, and I'll give you some context as well too, and we'll tie it all into real estate so that if you are thinking about making a move, hopefully this makes it a little bit easier. Now we've helped a ton of people move all over Orange County, and Newport's one of the cities we do a lot of business in as well too. If you ever want to talk about your unique situation, you can always find us by going to allaboutoc.com. Drop your information, we'd be happy to help you out. All right, let's dive into the video. And the first thing we're going to talk about are the pros. So the first pro we're going to talk about, and you have to talk about this when you're talking about Newport, is the affluent, safe neighborhoods. Newport as a whole is a very affluent area, obviously being very expensive. Prefacing one of the big cons is just that it is expensive. Huge pro is that it's just very safe. The police force, the neighborhoods themselves, the HOAs, if you're in an HOA, they're all just very overall, there's a lot of protection. Crime rates are very low. You do your own research there, but it is very overall very, very safe place to live. The other thing about that is there's also a lot of different types of neighborhoods. One thing that I think is probably most unique to Newport is you have totally different lifestyles in different sections of the city. A lot of the times the city will have kind of a generic lifestyle, like for example San Clemente is kind of like a beach bummy lifestyle. Dana Point, for example, is a little bit more of a sleepy beach town, and Huntington Beach is more of a, I don't know, more of a party fun crowd. And Newport just has pockets throughout it, right? You have Corona Del Mar, you have Newport Coast, you have the Bluffs, you have Lido, Balboa, even the Port Streets, the Peninsula. Like there's just a lot of different, I don't know, lifestyles, I suppose, in the different neighborhoods, right? Like Newport Coast is gated, super exclusive. However, Corona Del Mar, a lot of it's not gated and it's still super exclusive and it's more beachy than like Newport Coast. While you're right by the beach, it doesn't really feel beachy, at least not to me. And then on Balboa Island is like you're in your own world if you're in Balboa Island, which is totally different than living in like the Port Streets, which is more like suburbs type living. Now there's nuance to all of that, of course, but I just think it's really unique. So I would say that as a major pro is that you can live in Newport Beach. You don't have to fit one mold. You could be in a different area depending on what type of lifestyle you actually want. You still get all the safe benefits along with all the other pros, which one of the other kind of sections of pros that Newport has is the outdoor lifestyle. There's so much to do literally just in Newport Beach. I'd say Newport Beach is one of the very unique things where you can get most of the benefit of living in Orange County and really not have to leave the city at all. You've got boating, biking, surfing, so you have the ocean and you get all the benefits of both beach, because there's obviously beautiful beaches in Newport Beach, but you also have all the benefits of having a big harbor. So you can get in a Duffy boat and just putt around the harbor for an hour, 2 hours, wine and cheese and have a good time. Or you could go deep sea fishing, or you could go to the beaches and lay out in the sand. There's so many different things to do. So that from a water perspective, it's really nice to have both. Now on top of that, Newport is also great for walking, hiking, biking, and all of those things as well too. You have everything that I just talked about, where you could walk on the beach, you could walk around the harbor, or you could do Back Bay, which is also beautiful as well too, and you don't deal with like the touristy beach stuff, and you still have a lot of water scenes. You have a beautiful, more kind of tranquil area. So there's a lot of different options with stuff like that as well too. All right, now let's move into another pro, which is probably my favorite, just from like how I don't live in Newport Beach, but this is one of my favorite parts of going to Newport Beach, is the shopping and dining and all of that experience. Now there's a lot to it. There's a lot of different places to go. There's some of the best restaurants in all of Orange County. There's some of the best shopping in all of Orange County. So there's a lot of the best stuff that's all in Newport. Now, this is where you have South Coast Plaza, which I don't think technically is in Newport, but I'm still gonna say this. It's very close, right on the border. I think it's technically in Santa Ana, but you basically pass it getting into Newport. So not really on there, honorable mention, if you will. But you do have Fashion Island, which has a lot of the same stores, and it's an outdoor luxury mall. It is very close to the water, and it's surrounded by restaurants as well too. It's right by Corona Del Mar as well too. So you could go shopping at the more mall type experience, and you could also check out Corona Del Mar. Now, from a dining perspective, there are so many restaurants. It's hard to name some of them, but like some of the most popular is the Rusty Pelican. I love that place. The farmhouse at Rogers Garden is like an absolute place. I've never been there, but like I've heard nothing but amazing things. Malibu Farms, you have Javier's, Mama D's, Mastro's is one of my favorites. You have Ocean Club, and I guess the other one's is technically in Costa Mesa, right by South Coast Plaza, so I might as well also honorably mention the other Mastro's as well. But with the like shopping, dining night, you also have a lot of nightlife as well too. So if you're the type of person that likes to go out to a bar, grab a late night drink, or go grab drinks after dinner or something like that, like you just can't beat it. You can go have dinner at a really nice restaurant or kind of a hole in the wall place and then walk literally 2 blocks down or across the street and you can be at a bar that has a really, really good nightlife. This is one of the things that's just very unique with Newport Beach is that there's not a lot of other cities in Orange County that really have that feel. Now there are so many other pros. I think one more that I'm going to throw in here is just overall location. I think one of the major reasons Newport is so popular, it is pretty much right in the middle of Orange County. I think it has some of the best actual real estate, some of the nicest properties because the location's so desirable. When you look at the homes that were built in surrounding even coastal cities, Newport has by far the most stunning, maybe not by far, Laguna Beach is hard to beat as well too, but most properties in Newport are just beautiful, large properties, and I think the reason for that is because the location's so great. Why is that? Well, obviously it's right on PCH because it's a coastal city. It also has a highway, the 55 freeway goes right through it as well too. Literally right down to the T where you hit the 55 freeway and PCH. And that really drives through the heart of, it goes right through Costa Mesa but through Newport Beach. So it's really convenient to get in and out. Unlike Laguna Beach, there's more than 3 ways in and out. Laguna Beach, you literally just have PCH in the canyon. With Newport, it's just way more convenient. There's way more ways to get in and out. So that's a big portion of it. Now with that, as far as location, you're also right next to Irvine. You're right, Costa Mesa is also very popular. You're very close to Laguna Beach, but you're really close to the airport. Now, if you're a professional and you travel or you just like to be close to the airport, I mean, you are right next to the airport. John Wayne Airport is right in Santa Ana, which is also right next to Newport Beach. So these are all some major, major benefits. And obviously it's got some of the best coastal experience as well too. Like I said, you have the harbor, you've got Balboa, you got the peninsula. There's just a lot of stuff going on there also. Now, the city north of Newport Beach is Huntington, which on a opposite contrast, Huntington's totally flat. Like it's got the longest, probably most impressive, just sandy beaches, probably on the entire Southern California coast. But Newport has some dimension to it. It's got some hills. Newport coast is straight up the hill. You've got Pelicans right there as well too. So you also have a 5-star resort. Those have amazing views, and one city north is just flat. And there's no ocean views at all unless you're literally right on the front row. Also very interesting. So that Newport just has a lot going for it in the way of location. Properties get ocean views to one side and canyon and Saddleback Mountain views to the other. And all of that just brings together, like, obviously Newport's in a fantastic location. Not only just from a real estate perspective and what you get, but also for it being in such a convenient spot in Orange County. All right, now that is the pros. Now there's other good things about Newport. Obviously, mention your favorite thing in the comments down below. I'd love to hear it for sure. And I'm probably missing something, so make sure that it's in there. Now, what I'm gonna move on to is the cons. Obviously, you can talk forever about the good things about Newport. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the things that maybe aren't so great. Number 0 that I'm not even gonna really talk about on this list is that it's expensive. It's really expensive. I'm gonna dive in and share my screen, look at some houses just so you can see, but everything in Newport is expensive. The shopping's expensive, the restaurants are expensive, the houses are really expensive, rent is expensive. So that's just kind of a given when you're dealing with the most expensive city in Orange County. So I'm not really gonna talk too much about that. But the other thing is probably the most notable is the traffic and congestion. Now, I think Newport's not nearly as bad as Laguna Beach and probably isn't as bad as Huntington either. You're definitely gonna be dealing with traffic and congestion, especially the closer you get to the water, the closer you get to the more landmark places as well too. Trying to go to Balboa Island on a holiday weekend, forget it. You might as well walk, would probably be a better idea. I got a text, an invitation to go to a boat parade from actually an agent on our team, and shout out to Danielle. And her text message, or her on the invitation of watch the boat parade from their place they were watching it, was do not call me if you can't find parking. I know you can't find parking, just Uber. Right, it was hilarious, but that was the point, is just like, you're gonna be dealing with that for sure, right? Parking is really limited in a lot of those areas to begin with, and not to mention there's just a lot of people because it's beautiful and they want to check it out. So traffic and congestion is going to be pretty much a given throughout. Now, with that, you're also going to get tourist crowd. While we're talking about Newport being probably the most desirable place in all of Orange County, it's also going to be the most desirable place to go. If you move to Orange County and you don't decide to live in Newport for whatever reason, you're probably going to go to Newport once or twice. And that, along with everybody else that travels, just brings in congestion as well too. So if you want to stay away from the tourist destinations, you're going to want to stay away from the peninsula, Lido, Balboa, anywhere near the beach, those different places. Now, the last thing I'll say is public transportation before we get into like it's expensive. Limitations on public transportation is something you're going to see all throughout Orange County, especially in southern Orange County. You're going to see like just less public transportation, but it's not like, I don't know, it's not any different than any other city in Orange County. So like if you're gonna have a car wherever you live in Orange County. I will say that the beach cities are doing more of like the trolley stuff, like Laguna Beach, Dana Point have the trolley system. That's really fun. But overall, like transportation, you're gonna need a car or you're gonna Uber places for sure. All right, now the last thing we're gonna talk about is real estate. Now, yes, it's expensive, but what I'm gonna do, let me share my screen because we're gonna look at some properties here. And the reason I wanna share this is to give you an idea of what you get for your money. Now at onyxhomes.com, once we're here, I'm gonna head up to the top left and hit the search button, and that's gonna pull up probably all of Orange County, and I'm gonna go and just search for Newport Beach. I'm gonna click on that, hit the search button, and this is gonna show us kind of a range of everything that's here. Now, what I would like to do is I'd like to show you these are the newest properties. I'd like to show you the highest priced properties, so you can see there's a boatload in the $40 million range. There's a lot of really expensive properties. And the other thing that's interesting is they're kind of all over the place. So let me zoom out a little bit again. And you can see that they're not all in one neighborhood, right? They are quite literally all over the place as far as where they're at. Now, yes, a lot of the times they're going to be ranging from Crystal Cove back to the peninsula to be right on the water, even with docks and stuff like that. But they're really all over the place. So again, back to like the initial things that I was talking about, is they're not just in one spot. Okay, so yes, there's a lot of expensive properties. Let's go ahead and look at the most affordable properties. And as you can see, there are some manufactured homes that are right on the water. Right on the water is probably an exaggeration, but I think you get the point. Let me point out the one thing. If you are looking at this, you're gonna see, yeah, $3,100 a month land lease as well too. So while this looks incredibly cheap, you want to make sure you look into it, right? But anyway, going through all of this, you can see that for $1 million, you can also be kind of all over the place. Look out for this. I hate that they put this on here. This is a co-ownership. This is not a $900,000 house. There's a lot of it on here that really shouldn't be. But anyway, there's properties all over the place. Now, this is for purchase and for rent. And I think one thing that's important to mention as well too is the median home price right now for Newport is around $3.5 million, and the median rent is around $8,000. So if you're watching this video and you're thinking about Newport Beach, but you're really not sure if you should buy or should rent, I made a whole video that breaks down just the cost difference of buying, renting, and where it could or might not make sense for you. Now, go ahead, before you watch that video, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in that next video. Again, my name's Christian. Thanks for watching.